Hey, Tubies, this is Bob Hickman. It is so rocking to be with you guys. Well, I'm sitting here today and I'm looking at my vintage Zodiac pendant. This is one of my new pieces in my Zodiac jewelry collection. I just got this recently. I love it. It's from the 1970s and it's a bronze pendant. It's got the Aquarius on it there. Isn't that cool? And then you flip it over on the back. This is a really cool part. On the back, it has a picture of the Earth there in the center with all the planets moving around in their orbits. And it's got the zodiac signs along the edge. Is that cool or what? Anyways, I love the old vintage jeweler. I tell you, go out and try to find a bronze, a solid bronze. This is thick, heavy, thick bronze today at the jewelry store. I bet you won't find it. Anyways, I'm enjoying it. And, just as a reminder for those of you who are new here, every day we have horoscopes, posted horoscopes. I have a horoscopes blog at my website, and you can go there and get free daily horoscopes 7 days a week. And just go to robert-hickman.com. I'll put the info link in the info box below, the link, but go get your horoscopes, okay? Well, anyways, today is messages from the spirit world. And before we get into that, also, I want to just take a moment and say thank you. We've had a lot of new people joining Spirit Channel. Welcome to all the new people. We're glad you're part of our scene. And, if you haven't yet seen yesterday's video, I did a tribute to Prince, and I talked about the mystical power around his symbol. So if you haven't seen that, make sure to see that today as well. That's in the queue right before this one. I keep all my videos in chronological order. Anyways, guys, I'm so glad you're here. Well, we've been getting in so many letters, and also, again, for new people, because we have so many new people, the Messages from the Spirit World is a weekly thing I do. I just get a bunch of letters, and I answer them. So you can send your psychic questions to me. There is no charge, absolutely free. Just write me in the comment box below, or send a message to me at my email, or write to me at my website, robert-hickman.com, and we'll get you in. I get hundreds of letters, so bear with me. It takes me a while to get back to everybody, but I do love to get your letters. I do read all of them, and we're trying to get them in every week, okay? So thanks for being here. Anyways, also encourage you, even if your letter doesn't get answered, listen to all the letters, because, the spirit world will work through other people's letters to give you an answer. I've had many people write to me and say, Bob, I was watching it. My letter didn't get answered, but another letter came up, and I swear what I learned from that helped me. So you see, spirit works like that. So thanks for understanding your patience. I'm so glad you guys are here. Well, before we get into the letters, let's all take a moment. Let's just settle ourselves down. Just get centered. And let's attune to the spirit world. Okay. My spirit guide Fletcher's back here and sends his greetings to all of you. Excuse me. Our first letter today is from the Witches of Charmed. Hi, Witches of Charm. And they said, hello, Psychic Bob. I was wondering if you can tell me something about my past life. Thanks and blessed be. Hi, Witches of Charm. When I step into your vibration, what I see in your past life aura is you were in New York. It was around the early 1900s, 1920s. You were a steel worker. You were a male in that life, and you were a steel worker. You helped build a lot of those big buildings like you see in New York, like the skyscrapers. And you had no fear. You would walk across those thin steel beams as they were setting them in. You used to have cranes bring in the steel, and then steel workers would weld the beams together. And that's what you actually did. So you have a connection to New York in the 1920s. And I'd just be curious, have you ever been to New York City? If you go there, you may see some of the very buildings that you worked on. I feel like you may have had a connection at some point to the Empire State Building as well. So definitely that's your past life, okay? Anyways, hope that helps. Thanks for writing. All right, our next letter is from T. Kong. And they said, Dear Psychic Bob, what can you tell me about my future wife? Hi, T. Kong. Well, I get the name K, the letter K. It's either Kim or Karen or Kate. It's a K name I get around her. She has long hair. It's kind of a dark blonde. She's really pretty. She looks kind of Nordic looking to me. Um, and you know where you meet her? Now, don't hate me for this, but it's online. I see a connection through a dating site. I see you writing back and forth. And it really just clicks. But yeah, that's what she looks like. And I do feel like you are moving into a relationship. It's still probably just probably another year to 2 years until it really goes. But you're on the way, and just be patient. Blessings to you. Okay. Our next letter is from Sister Mags. Hello, Sister Mags. Sister Mags writes out of England, and she says, Dear Psychic Bob, what do you see for me in the relationship area? Hi, Sister Mags. You know, it's nice when I step into your vibration, I get soft pink and white light. And that's the energy that means that you're ready for transition. You're ready to move into a connection with somebody. So that's a really good light to have around you. I want you to watch. I see the month of October as significant around this. I feel like it's around that time that you end up making the connection with this person. I want to place this connection through a mutual friend. There's somebody that you know, I think it's a female, and she knows this guy, or he's in her social circle, maybe she works with him. I get the name B, the letter B around this. It's like Brian or Billy, something with a B name. And he's from Northern England. I want to place this near County Durham, like he has a connection to Durham, County Durham, somewhere around that part of the UK. His energy strikes me as very gentle, very intelligent, kind. He's also has a very strong spiritual side to him. I don't know that he's as developed as you are, but I feel like he understands it when you talk about spiritual things. And so let's watch the month of October. That's the beginning for you. Blessings. Thanks for writing. All right. Our next letter is from Chris Damask. Hi, Chris. Chris has some good questions there. He says, Dear Psychic Bob, how much time passes between the typical life/death and reincarnation? Also, how does zodiac energy work on different planets like Mars that have different calendars? Wow, that's some good questions. Well, in terms of the typical life, there's no real one set way because every soul has their own journey. It's been my experience from people that I've worked with that most people, after they die, they stay in the spirit world, one, to evaluate their current life and to rest or recoup. But generally what happens is souls travel as a group, and sometimes a soul will wait until their entire soul group is over. So like, for example, if your grandfather died last year, most likely he'll be staying in the spirit world until everybody in his family and the immediate part of his soul group is over. So that could be, 50, 60, 70 years. It's been my experience, a lot of people spend close to 100 years in between lifetimes. But not always, because I have met people who have come back within just 20 years or 30 years. So it really depends. It depends on what a soul's working on, what their outstanding karma is. A lot of times if a soul dies young, they sometimes come back quickly to kind of get back into life while they still have energy. So, I don't think there's any one time, but a lot of times, as I said, soul groups will travel together and people will wait until their soul group is over. So there's not one specific time, but I hope that gives you some insight of how that kind of works, okay? I like your other question too. You said, how does zodiac energy work on different planets like Mars that have different calendars? This is something I was thinking about recently because I was thinking, gee, if I were on the moon or if I were on another planet, how would I do astrology? And you know what I think is what would happen? And this is actually going to be a question that will be, I think, in the next few years very relevant as we start to explore colonizing Mars, because there is talk about a manned mission to Mars. And you know what is going to happen is astrologers are going to have to learn a new zodiac system. It'll probably be just as accurate as the one on Earth, because, all things are taken into account. I would suspect that a new zodiac system would be developed for Mars because the orbits, the transits, the layout of the sky is different. And so I would expect to be a new one. But whatever the astrologers would come up with, I think would still be very valid. So if you're an astrologer, and you're looking for a future job, you might want to consider being an astrologer as part of NASA's mission to Mars and to be the first astrologer on a new planet. Now that would be fascinating. So yeah, that's how I think it would work. Just create a new system. It'd still do the same thing, it'd just be done a little differently. Okay, thanks for writing. Good question. The next letter is from Debonair Feline. And they said, Dear Psychic Bob, I've been in a relationship with a girl for almost 3 months now. We've had our share of arguments, but we love each other deeply. She's moving an hour away from me soon. I live with my parents who will not let me travel to see her. I'm 19 at this time. She's blaming herself for most of the conflict. I'm worried that we will drift apart. Is there anything for our future? Much respect and love. Debonair Feline. Hi, Debonair Feline. Well, I have to tell you, when I step into your vibration, you got a lot of red light around you. Red light tends to indicate energies of passion, romance, which is natural for your age. It also indicates a little bit of angst and anger and frustration, which I also understand. In terms of this relationship, interestingly, now I know it doesn't seem like it at the moment, but I do see transition, particularly in regards to your parents. I feel that after the move, they will actually soften their stance. I don't see them keeping a hard line saying you can't borrow the car to go up there and we're not going to help you get up there or fund gas or anything. I see a shift. One of the things I also pick up around this is that I feel that her family are actually more tolerant towards you. And I do feel like her parents will also kind of be an intermediary in the sense of letting her come to see you. And again, I do feel your parents are going to have a softer line. So please don't despair on this. I don't feel that the conflict is actually long term. So I do see transition actually in this case for the positive. And, a lot of people want to knock young love. They're like, oh, they're young. They don't know anything. They're too young to be in love. But I tell you, I've done readings for people who've been married 50, 60 years, 70 years, close to it, some of them. And they met when they were teenagers and they're still together. So there is true power even in young love. So don't let anybody tell you that it's not real. I do feel like she is committed to you. And I feel like your conflicts come from a place of each of you feel intensely about the relationship. And I think that there's both anxiety on both of your parts of worrying because there's a lot of pressure from outside forces on each of you. And sometimes, the people, it's like you and her are fine, but it's like everybody else has to get involved and stir the pot. And both of you have to kind of step back and say, okay, that's, my mom's issue. That's my dad's issue. That's not our issue. And, really when you talk to her from the place of that you love her no matter what other people's issues are. And I think she'll say to you, I love you too, and help her to distance herself from what are other people's issues. See, this is the thing, is I feel like for her, the struggle comes in that she's internalizing other people's issues. This is what creates a conflict. And so you want to help her be aware of that. And I do see the relationship improving and getting on track. And interestingly, your parents are going to take a softer stand. So I'm glad to be able to tell you that. Okay. But for right now, you want to focus on grounding your energy, meditating every day. Just take a few minutes, close your eyes, get centered, breathe, and then you approach your day. Because if you don't center yourself, you're going to get caught up in a whirlwind. Because I have to be honest, I feel around you, there are a lot of people who live in drama, a lot of whirlwind, and in her family a bit too. So you've got to be the grounded ones. I hate to say, but it's almost like you have to be the adults over the parents at this time. I do see them softening. So this will go on, and I do see you being able to be together regularly in the coming months, okay? Hope that helps. Thanks for writing. Blessings to you. Well, guys, listen, Psyche Bob is on a super tight schedule today. I'm sorry that's all the time I've got for letters. I'm so glad you're here. I hope you'll keep watching, keep writing. We're going to have more next week, so you don't want to miss it. But I am so glad you're here, and I hope that you'll stay here. Tomorrow is Wednesday, and we're going to talk about something magical, something Wiccan tomorrow. I haven't decided yet. Maybe we're talking about some spell work or something Wiccan. But be here tomorrow for Wiccan Wednesday. That's what I'm dubbing tomorrow. And on Thursday, we'll have Zodiac Thursday. Don't forget that. And by the way, make sure to go to my website today. Get your horoscopes free. I put them up every day for you guys. They're my own creation, and I don't take them from anybody else. So they're unique to me, and you won't get them anywhere else. So go to robert-hickman.com. I'll put the links below, and get your horoscope. Thanks for being here, guys. Listen, keep it here. We'll see you back here tomorrow for Wiccan Wednesday. And, of course, next week we'll have another Messages from the Spirit World.